Okay, here we go. All right, welcome to our coach info session. I'm so excited that Michaela, you are on here live, and those of you who are watching the playback and rocking the replay, that you are doing that for us tonight. We know how busy everyone is right now. Oh my gosh, I feel that to my bones right now. But my name is Erin Young, and you also have Laura Hanna and Gina Murray, who's going to be sharing some info and some of their stories with you all tonight. I'm going to be admitting people to our from the waiting room as I'm talking to you. So I'm going to manage all of this at once, but just welcome. We're so happy you are here. So we are all coaches on the same larger team called the Fit Fighter Nation, but we're also part of the company Team Beachbody, which most of you know that. And it's so funny because I think a lot of us we're not really expecting to become coaches. That's not something that we just like woke up one day and we're like, I want to be a coach. It was something that the path was laid out in front of us for us. And so we're all coaches on the same team. And what we do is that we lead by example, and not a perfect example, a real everyday example of what it means to be on this healthy lifestyle journey, the ups and the downs. And we do this together as a team and as a community. We do not do this alone. I think so many of us have struggled so much with being healthy or being fit or just trying to come into our own purpose. And it's been a hard journey. And we've realized that together we really can achieve more and that we can be more and do more. And so we're here tonight to help you understand more about coaching through the stories of a few of our coaches. What we do, like I said, is lead by example, but we do that to inspire other people to live a healthy, fulfilling life. And for me, I'm a former high school English teacher. I'm a mom of two. When I started this journey, my kids were 7 months old and 2 years old. And I was so lost and out of sorts and had totally just lost myself in the commotion of becoming a grown up and getting my life started to say it quickly and efficiently. And what I found from this crew and this community and being a coach is not only a community that supported me and believed in me, a group of women that literally were so kind and so nice and judgment free, which was not the community that I was a part of in my career as a teacher, but a community and a place where I found purpose. And my purpose was in empowering other women that they could feel awesome too and live a really amazing, confident life. I chose to build this business. I got really great results, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can do this, somebody else can do this too. And so I chose to pay this forward and share this with other people in my life. At first, it was people I went to high school with or college with, and I didn't have much of a social media or anything like that, in pockets of time on my own time. And, over time, what I was able to do was to build this cool community and team, have so much fun, build an income, and to what I like to call is like grow a second family and almost create this second family. And it's been so amazing. And so I hope that the stories of Laura and Gina really speak to you tonight. You hear something that you relate to. And, we're here to answer any of your questions as well. And so if you're not on live and watching the playback, definitely make sure you send all of your questions to the coach who invited you. But I'm going to send it over to Laura, and she is going to take it away. All right, Laura.
All right, thank you, Erin. I'm so excited to be here and to share how I got started coaching and why I continue to do it today. My story is similar to Erin's, but a little bit different. I worked a job that I absolutely loved pre-marriage and pre-kids. But even though it was my dream job, my real dream job was to be a stay-at-home mom. I had wanted that for as long as I could remember. So when kids came along, I let that other job go. And I was perfectly happy to be the new mama that I was. I loved it. I had 3 kids. They're wonderful. But as so many of us that have had kids or have kids currently, whether you work outside the home or are a stay-at-home mom, you know that the kids can absolutely just suck it out of you. And so I lost myself in momming. And as my kids got older and started going off to school and things like that, I was really just finding that like I just needed something for myself again. And I missed the passion that I had felt for that previous job. So I started as a customer. I just wanted the convenience of the workouts. I had no interest in the nutrition. I wasn't going to drink a shake. I did not need an accountability group. Like I wanted the workouts. But very quickly, I got curious and I, plugged into all of those things and I felt madly in love with every single component of it. So madly in love, in fact, that I reached out to my coach at one point and asked if I could start leading some of the posts in the group that she was leading. At the time, it was on Facebook. It was a Facebook group. We didn't even have the app that we now lead the groups on. So she said, sure, but you should be coaching. So I signed up to coach literally just to support this fabulous community that I had fallen in love with and was feeling a lot of support from. I just wanted to give back to them. I had really no intention of reaching out to people or actively coaching in any other way. But because that group was on Facebook, I accidentally one day posted my workout log to my actual feed. Didn't mean to, totally unexpected. Didn't realize it. When I did, I panicked and went to delete it. And there were already a ton of comments. People were so supportive, so positive, so excited about what I was doing that I knew I had to leave that post out there in the world. And I think that was kind of my first little confidence builder that, oh gosh, there are people out there that want this and you need to share what you're doing. And that's kind of how I got started coaching. But I was still at home with my kids. And so I was just very much doing it on the side. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in it. I wasn't certainly putting out good quality anything or even putting much effort into it. And eventually I did get a job outside of the home once my youngest got into school full time. And it flipped everything I had known on its head. I really struggled to get my workouts in. I struggled to meal prep dinner. I was really frustrated and anxious and stressed every afternoon after I picked the kids up from school because I had been gone from home the whole day. And I know so many people survive that way, but I didn't want to survive that way. It wasn't what I was used to. It wasn't what I was enjoying. And I just hated the structure of it. So conveniently, luckily for me, in March, when COVID hit, I lost that job. And I was basically forced to go full-time into coaching. And I did. And I had found a ton of confidence by then. And I did things very differently than I had done originally. And it flew. And I was so thankful for that community that I had already built and that positive support system that just wrapped me up and lifted me up. And for me, since then, I mean, all along, but especially since then, the things that I love about coaching are that it has given me back this independence and this freedom, this ability to live on my own terms, that it was a pretty short time that I had this job outside the home, but it was just long enough to be a wake up call to me that that is not what I wanted. And even though my kids are back in school or were, at the time, I wanted to be home and I wanted to be available for field trips and doctor's appointments and to help my parents when they spur of the moment needed something and just, to live on my own terms. So I continue to love the community that I've built and supporting that community. And when a client reaches out and thanks me for sharing this with them and shares their results and all of that, like, oh, it fills my cup in a way I can't describe. And it gives me that purpose that I was lacking from that job that I had loved in the past. So it's totally filled that void for me, but has also given me this independence and this freedom back that I really, really was longing for. So that's my story.
All right, Gina, you're up, girl.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank everybody for coming in advance, but my story started a little, I think Erin and I met at a Shaun T workout event. I think that's how it got started. That was my first event. I've been into fitness pretty much all my life. I grew up with a family who played baseball, had a baseball team on Sundays. We did the bowling. We went to the gym together. We were too young to go in. We had to go to the playroom at the gym, but I could not wait until I got old enough to go to the group classes with my mom. My dad played basketball. My uncles were playing basketball. Some of them were on the tennis court. That's just what we did as a family. So as I got older, I continued to work out, go to the gym 5, sometimes 7 days a week. But I was still eating the potatoes, loved them, still do to this day. So I'm thinking eating potatoes 5 days a week, but working hard 5 days a week was going to get things done, but it wasn't. And I obtained custody of my nephew at the time, and I was looking for a way to continue on my love for working out and taking care of myself, while at the same time making sure that he was cared for, because he was at that stage where he's too old for daycare, but not old enough to stay home by himself. So that left me in a conundrum, because I would take him to LA Fitness with me, and he would sit, in the waiting area, and I'm peeping in, not really focused on my class, kind of freaked out that somebody may snatch him up or something. He didn't want to go into the baby room with the 6-month-old crying. And so I had to figure out a way that I was going to be able to continue on with my journey. Now that he's in my home, in my life, how was I going to manage that while still being able to get my workouts in, while still being able to give back, because I'm big on community service. And so at first I was like, well, I can get a job, because now I have to pay for daycare and all this stuff. I can get a job at Kohl's or something like that. Well, by the time I pay for someone to keep him in the evening, that money is gone. I'm exhausted. He's exhausted. I don't get to spend any time with him. And so that wasn't going to be a good fit. So when this came along after my second Shaun T event, Aaron had reached out to me, and I fought it for 2 years, guys. 2 years. I said no. I kept watching and peeping on the outside like a little, one of those lookers. That was me, just looking from the outside, saying, "Ooh, that looks good, but I'm not going to do that." And so when I finally said yes, it was one of the best decisions that I made, because I made a commitment in my home, and I told my nephew at the time, when I'm doing this workout, this is going to be my time, and I had to be sort of mean about it. When I get off work from 5:30 to 6, you got to give me that 30 minutes to do this for myself. In my first program, I lost 17 pounds within that first 45 days. And it just propelled me from there to want to serve and give back in so many different ways. My love for it, my why has changed tremendously over the years. My nephew is older now, and he's been reunified with his family. And it gives me the opportunity to not only focus on myself, but to be able to help others along the way. Because what fun is it to just be doing this by yourself? Who wants to work out by themselves? Who wants to go on adventures and trips? Who wants to travel by themselves? My first Beachbody event I went to, I didn't know any of my roommates, had never seen them a day in my life. And this was my 5th month in, and I'm going to New Orleans with a group of strangers in a room. I'm sure my family were like, why would you do something like that? But they didn't feel like strangers to me. They were only strangers because I hadn't met them in person. But we had built a relationship. We were just free to be ourselves. I didn't feel like they were strangers. Most of the people in our group, no one feels like a stranger. Like when we see each other, once you get to partake in a live event, once you see them in person, you already know their family history, you know about their kids, you know when the play dates are, you learn some new stuff about clothes, about jewelry, about all things about people's lives. And that is so interesting to me. But what drives me more than anything right now is to know that, and I have props because I like to be visual. And this is old school. This is a camera. But what drives me more than anything else is the thought that I get to be the director of my own story. Nobody else gets to finish that. Now I know you have your phone that you can create that story with. You can create the path and the vision that you want for yourself. There's no, no person or thing that can keep you from doing some of the things that you want to. Now there's going to be things, tests and trials along the way, but if you're really adamant about taking care of yourself and serving in a way that you have never done before, this gives you the opportunity to do that. And I have been challenged out of my comfort zone in several ways. When I first started, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I had told Jenny I was not going to be one of them cheerleading people. That was not going to be me. I was not going to be clapping. I wasn't going to be jumping up and down. I wasn't going to be screaming in the background. I was not going to be doing any of that because that was not my personality. But now, if you see us at an event, me and my squad, we're the ones, the Purple Warriors, we're the ones screaming in the background. And it just becomes natural that you celebrate the wins, no matter if somebody lost zero point 0.5 pounds or they lost none, but their energy has improved. They're living a better life. They're sleeping better. They don't have the stressor. Those are all wins. Or they lose 100 pounds. We're celebrating it just as though they're all a big win. There's no little win and no big win. They're all wins. And so I want to encourage each of you to write your own story, be the director of the life that you want to have for yourself, because you so deserve it. I realize that more now than ever, that I worked so hard to be a community servant for everybody else, but I neglected myself in the middle of it. And over the last year, and especially what we're doing right now with Darren Hardy, I'm learning how to love myself even more and really take a deep, a hard look at some things, some areas of my life that I really need to work on, that I put to the side because I thought that it wasn't important, but it is. So if you're thinking you're just coming here for a workout, or you're thinking you're just coming here to learn nutrition, this takes you in a trajectory you have no idea what to expect, but it's going to be so rewarding. And so we look forward to accepting you and cheering you along the way with my purple pom-poms.
And I love when you bring the purple pom-poms to the calls and the events. No, what's really cool, you guys, is that, thank you, Gina, and thank you, Laura, so much. That was perfect. I love, our team is incredible. And we're made up of so many different women from all walks of life and all experiences and all ages, just everything. We did not come to the table with a degree in fitness or nutrition. Now, some people do have that, and they come to this because they're like, I want to use this to help more people. We all came to this table because we raised our hand because we wanted to live a better life and a healthier life. And we knew we needed support. But we also were still at this table because we want to help someone else do the same. And that's what this is. I mean, we're all in our own health and fitness support groups, our challenge groups, our accountability groups, on BOD groups. We're all on the journey. We're all press and play. We're all drinking the shake. We're loving our Energize. We're all doing that. But what we're also doing is inviting people to do it with us. I have never once felt like a sales girl in my life, and I would be horrible at it. Okay. I'm a high school English teacher. That's how I'm trained. Okay. Now, what we're doing is we're sharing something we've fallen in love with people that we know it can change their lives. And we believe that. Like, that's why we are here, is because we believe in all of this so much. And coaching is perfect for you if you also want to take your health fitness results to the next level with a group of really awesome, positive people that will always cheer you on no matter what. We will give you every tool and resource you need. You don't need to know anything right now other than, like, I want to help people, and I would love to have something new in my life that gives me a sense of greater purpose. Maybe purpose even like bigger than you right now, right? And that's what it was for me. It was like, this purpose is so much bigger than being a mom, being a teacher. Like, it's so much bigger than that. And I needed that to push me and drive me. But also, it's here for you because perhaps you need a second stream of income, or an income to replace something, or you need to pay off debt, student loans, etc. Those kinds of things. There's some freedom you'd also like to have in your life by having another opportunity pouring into your bank account, pouring into your life. Because I know that's also what it's done for all of us too, and we haven't really said that. We've worked hard for that too. But I will tell you what, we're in the midst of packing up our home and selling what I thought was our forever home because we're going to buy our dream home, because we put ourselves in a place of greater potential, right? And I was able to open my eyes to bigger dreams. And I'm able to help other women open their eyes to a dream like way bigger than they ever imagined. I know that's happening on our team with really, really hard work. So the potential is limitless with coaching. It can be, hey, I just want to have fun with this crew. Like, they're cool. And I like Shakeology. I'd love to get a discount on it. It can also be like, you know what, this is cool. I'd love to earn back the cost of my Shakeology, right? That was me at first. I was like, let me just cover this monthly cost here and help a few people in my life. Help my mom get started on it, right? Help a couple girls I work with get started on Shakeology, and them come into the challenge group with me. That'd be so fun. But for others of us who've been here a little bit longer, we've seen the potential. We're like, no, we're going for it. Like, let's do something really amazing with a business opportunity that will grow in income to support my family in an amazing way. So there's so many different avenues you can go down with coaching. But it all starts with you saying, yes, I'm important and I matter, and I want to put myself first. And then it takes that belief in what we're doing and what the products we're using, and then saying, you know what, it's not just about me, but I think someone else needs to know about this too. Because if I feel amazing, and that was me, like you guys, like I had been trying to lose 10 pounds for 10 years and I tried all the ways and I never followed through with anything. And nothing ever worked for me because I didn't have support. I didn't have people locking arms with me and people who cared if I finished. I mean, no offense to Lifetime or the YMCA, but they didn't care if I showed up every day. They just wanted their monthly payment, right? They didn't care if I came to class. They didn't care if I followed a nutrition plan because they had no nutrition plans to offer me. It was only fitness at the gym. It wasn't nutrition. It wasn't self-care. It wasn't support. It wasn't personal growth. You know, it was just like surface level, but this is so much deeper than that. And it changes your life forever. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. And so the thing with me is I have one huge regret when it comes to becoming a coach. And that was that I waited so long to do it. And I know Jenny would raise her hands times 10 and Laura would and Gina would too. I mean, I watched and I said every like excuse, limiting belief, fear, doubt, too busy, too expensive, which I don't know what I was talking about because like there's no expense on top of being a coach. Okay. Like the only thing you pay for is your journey, your Beachbody On Demand, your Shakeology. There's a business service fee each month, but we're getting a bigger discount on top of that. We save 25% as coaches. And so we're saving more money as coaches than we're paying as customers. So you're always winning in terms of that. I don't know. Like, I was just like, I was like, I don't like social media. I don't know. Like, I just had all this holding me back. Like, I'm not at my goal weight yet, like all these things. But it was so crazy because no one wanted me to be at my goal weight. They just wanted somebody to believe in them. They just wanted somebody to be on the journey with them. You know, like I didn't need hours of time to help one of my colleagues say yes to this journey. I just need to be like, hey, Dana, like you should totally do this with me. It's working and I love it. You know, like that's the thing. And so all of my limiting beliefs, my fears, my doubts held me back for so long. And I just wish someone would have been like, Erin, read a little, change your life sooner. And that's why we're here tonight, because we want to make sure, you know, we think that. And you were specifically invited to this because we want you to be on our team with us. And we know that you would love this. This was not a random invitation. This was not like, let's just invite everybody we know and see who says yes at all, ever. Okay. You said yes for a reason, and we asked you for a reason because we know you'd be a perfect fit for our team, for our community, for our family. And we think you could really make a difference in your life and the lives of other people. And so that's what this is all about tonight. And so if this spoke to you and you're like, okay, I'm kind of sort of thinking about this, you absolutely have to reach out to your coach tonight because there is some urgency in your response. Okay, because we want to help you get enrolled before the end of the month so that we can help you get enrolled in our new coach mentorship and be part of all the fun things our team's going to do in March. We kick off March 1st with our team call. I never want you to miss a team call. We do those the first Monday of the month. Next Saturday, we have Sweaty Saturday where we're recognizing our teammates for their transformations. We want you to be a part of the cool things that we have in store for the month. And so we also want you to be a part of the start of our next virtual fitness clubs and wellness clubs. And those always kick off the start of the month. And so now time is of the essence because we want you to come in with that fresh start, you know, and to be able to hit the ground running in March and for us to be able to help you right off the bat. And so we're just really excited about this opportunity for you. And I really don't want you to put it off for 2 years or 2 months or however long you did, or some of us on here did, because it really is day one, you're going to feel like a different person, because just with that title of coach, there's something that switches within you. It did for me. And I was like, okay, a little bit more purpose. Maybe I didn't have it all figured out, but I was really excited about it and about the potential and where it could take me. So thank you all so much for being here tonight, for your time. I'm going to stop the recording, but if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we will totally answer any of your questions, those of you that are on here live. So thank you so much, and just get in touch with the coach who invited you ASAP so we can get you plugged in. All right.